what comes within you. And you remember death a lot because you realize the end point of everything. There's a ma'wa, an arrival point to everything. And then there's zuhud. There's not necessarily being, oh, I'm a fakir because, I only wear sandals, or I wear my patched cloak, or, I have one shirt only. You can love that shirt so much that you're no longer zahid. And as Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal, he said that, he wrote or commented that zuhud isn't necessarily physical poverty, it's disattachment from the things that you have. And we should know this. You have to disengage your heart, ma siwahu ta'ala, of things other than Him, may He be exalted. And that's a Sufi concept. You disengage the ma siwahu. When I was in Turkey, I heard that a lot. Ma siwahu means that which is other than Him, may He be exalted. Things other than God, you want to get ma siwahu out of your heart. So, the idea of being upright, Allah Ta'ala says, it's forced with Yawm al-Qiyamah, the day of resurrection. The day when things are brought up. This language of construction, of building, is very important in the religion. Buni Islam al-Khams. Islam is built on 5. And that then, I talked a little about hayy. Now this is important about life, because the origin of the word, the origin word for to live, hayya is where you get the word of haya, modesty, from. So there's an immediate relationship between the concept of life and the concept of modesty. If we want to use that word modesty. And Allah says in the Quran, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, istajibu lillahi wa lirrasul, idha da'akum lima yuhyikum. Oh, you believe, respond to Allah, give the jawab, respond back. You're hearing? Respond. Give the ijab. This idea of answer. When He calls you, it's Allah and the messenger calling that, lima yuhyikum, which will give you life, which enlivens you. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't want us to necessarily die. When Richard Dawkins, when he defines life, he says life is the countering of entropy. Life is the process by which you fight decay. Things naturally want to, remember that you studied entropy? The second law of thermodynamics? Things are going through a state of lower energy, decay. Death. And life is a process where you counter that. So you are taking in energy to construct things, to maintain a living system. And when you read Al-Hayat al-Kursi, Allahu la ilaha illahu al-Hayyu qayyum. Al-Hayyu qayyum. Allah says, it's the heavy verse of the Quran, the most valuable ayat, the heaviest one. The sultan of the ayat of the Quran. Allah, la ilaha illahu al-Hayyu qayyum. After He gives you His name and affirms the Tawheedic formula, the first name He gives after Allah is Al-Hayy. But you share that. You are living. But you're not qayyum. You're not self-subsisting. And the Prophet mentioned that in a hadith about the Isma Azam of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the hadith that talk about it, it's found in the Quran, it's either found in the name Allah, the word Allah, Al-Qayyum, Ar-Rahman, Rahim, or Al-Hayy. These 5 names will come up. The name of the essence, Allah. The composite of all the Asma and Sifat. Innani ana Allah. Innani ana Allah. illa ana. The name by which Allah makes forth His I proclamation. Innani ana Allah, I am Allah. La ilaha illa ana. That's the name of the I-ness of Allah. So that's a unique name with Allah, and you've been given that name as a dhikr. Either by itself, اذكر اسم ربك, remember the name of your Lord, or with idafat, or in sifat, Allahu Akbar, Alhamdulillah, in some construction, or a grammatical relationship, a word construction, a tarkeeb with the word Allah. Then Al-Qayyum, well, that's Allah's self-subsistence, so put that to the side. But the next three, Al-Hayy, Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim, all these words are related. They all go back to one attribute, life. Because Rahmah is a wombish nature. Allah is the idea of the womb. So Ar-Rahman, and Allah is showing Rahman and Rahim, goes back to Rahim, a relationship with Rahim, which we heard Shaykh Naeem mention yesterday. And that also goes back to the womb with life. So a very important word to know of the names of Allah is He's the living. He's the living. And He and His messenger call you to that which will give you life. You will have the fullness of the capacity of a created being to live. You will have get this now. You will have the fullness of the capacity of carbon and phosphorus and potassium and nitrogen to live when you enter the garden. When you enter the garden. Ramadan is a word, it comes from the word Ramadan, to be dry, desiccated. But the gates of paradise are Rayyan. And that means in Arabic, they are green and fecundant, they're moist. Even the gates of paradise have indications of life themselves. As-sawm li wa ana ajzi bihi. Fasting is mine, I give the reward myself. What's that reward? We don't know. But it must have something with life, though. Because the reward is the gates of Rayyan, the green, verdant, moist gates, out of Ramadan, the month of dryness and parchness. Like an animal that dies in the desert. And you can find, why do the Egyptians mummify? Because the bodies don't decay in the desert. They just shrivel up and they dry. Why did some of the South American, what was it, who were they down in Chile? Not the Mayan. No, it was the other group. Not the Toltecs. One of the groups. Am I done talking? 5 more minutes, I haven't got into Mustaqim yet. See, that's my problem now. I have too many thoughts running around to share with you. And this is what Allah wants, to get us to a place, despite ourselves,